This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race number 3 in season 3 from Melbourne, Australia. I'm Seb Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for a still rather early season race. Australia was the season opener from 1997 until 2019 in every year. But the real Formula 1 has lost some rhythm, and mainstream racing series, the MRS, always has just shuffled the real life calendar. And so we turn towards the Albert Park here in the third race. We will sadly not have a full grid tonight. We should be something around 15 drivers. We have 14 in, so maybe there is still 1, 2, 3 more drivers, including our reserves, checking in. We will have a 18 minutes qualifying followed by 29 laps of racing. That is approximately half the real life duration. Let's have a short look about our settings. Weather is dynamic, of course. So the assists that can be used maximally, medium traction control, and maximally in the corners. The dynamic racing line gearbox can be manual, can be automatic, but I think no one uses this. This is our track. Track difficulty, just as it was last year, is ruled as very easy, and just as last year, I must say this is not true. This track is definitely not easy. There are a few corners, a few turns that can be viciously hard, and we will find out about that later. 60 turns, 5.3 kilometers of length. Lap record is still dating back to Michael Schumacher back in the year of 2004. 124.1. I suppose our drivers will blast that by around about 2 or 3 seconds then. Hello, Mr. Andrew Mond in our chat box. He has corrected me that 1996 was the first race here. I'm not so sure. Actually, I'm not so sure. I was pretty sure that 1997 was the first race in Melbourne, because in 1996 we had this tremendous season finish in Adelaide. Or was it 1995? Maybe it was 1995. I will have to look it up after the race on Wikipedia. So let's say just sometime midway through the 90s, the track swapped from Adelaide to Melbourne in Australia. And hello, Torpedo Check. Hello, Rockstar Caruso. I will not apply for presidency, but thanks that I would have your voice, your election. Thanks very much. And so as the countdown is ticking down, we are about to get started with what are 14 drivers now. Let's see if it will stay that way. I'm having myself a short look into our Discord server, and there is something in the background, some background chatter while we see the first pictures of the beautiful Albert Park racetrack. That is a non-permanent racetrack, means you can see the lines on the road, so this is actually a normal street circuit, at least in some phases. This is the beautiful picture of the parking lot, the place where Peter Simpson threw away the championship in season 1, because in our first season, Melbourne was our season finale, and it was a intense battle to that time between Dominic Walsh and Peter Simpson. And just, what was it, maybe 5 laps before the season was out, Peter Simpson led the way, and in the pouring rain, he threw away his car and gifted the Season 1 championship to Dominic Walsh. But Seymour Simpson then snatched it in the second season. And as I'm already talking about Peter Simpson, have a look. He is not in here tonight. He's not there. I know we have some inactive drivers tonight, but I wasn't expecting Seymour to be one of them. Yep, and as I am looking into our check-in bot, our check-in page on the Discord server, there is a green check behind the Seymour name, but there is no Seymour in our pit lane here. I'm having another little bit of malfunction. Now it works. Now it works. Couldn't change the camera view, but now it does. So let's get in a bit of information that we will need for the remainder of the qualifying. So, what is important? What is important beside the fact that Peter Simpson is missing? I've seen a message from Diogo Felipe that he will join a little bit later because he's still installing the update that was incoming on Monday, game version 1.009. By the way, meanwhile, there was yet another announcement, game version 1.01, and this next version, whenever it will come, should then include the track of Portimao. But first, let's have a look at Mr. Andrew Mont, who is just starting his first half lap already in the second DRS zone. First chicane is done. Now he will turn here onto the parking lot. Right, left, right combination. You can see the walls are close. The walls are close. It is something similar like in Canada, because there is always a little bit of a grass strip and then there is an unforgiving hard wall, and those unforgiving hard walls is just the reason why the Melbourne race has always, really always been like, yeah, at least exciting, maybe even chaotic race. No matter which league I broadcasted, the Melbourne race has always been chaos, and this, where we just moved through, was one of the biggest graveyards of virtual Formula 1 cars that I've ever seen. So now, as Andrew Mont is already in the slowest sector, slowest turns, we see a lot of left-right or right-left combinations, and this is one hot lap here in Melbourne. And Andrew Mont on medium tires posts a 1:22.9. So even on mediums, he is already 1.5 seconds faster than the lap record. And this time is now being blasted by a few soft drivers. That is Iggy Lai and Blake Gary, and now Tom Walsh. But Andrew Mont was faster than the other one, who posted a medium tire time. That was Mike Taylor, with 2.8 seconds gap to the provisional pole setter Iggy Lai in the Ferrari. So, what else is important? We see Dominic Walsh and Jeppe Nielsen being grey, they will not race here tonight. I know that Jeppe Nielsen does hold a grid penalty, a quali ban for today for an incident that occurred in last week's race. And the other one, the coming together driver, I think it was Dominic. I think it was Peter Simpson. Not sure if it was Don Walsh. Maybe this is the reason why Seymour Simpson is not in yet. Maybe he just says, okay, I will just join in a little bit later then. He must watch out that he'll not join too late. So he's got to join early enough to be racing then from the back of the grid. Diogo Felipe, I think, has already joined. I saw his name somewhere, but he is... yes, there he is. Just when I talk about him, there he is on P40 now, sitting in his garage. Oh, and Rognan is out. Rognan is out, and Rognan has crashed, and he is the first one who crashed right on the position where I said the big Formula 1 graveyard right here. There is a crashed Red Bull. And this was the first and definitely not the last one that will find the wall here on the right, this spot. I was already joking around in our background chat because if we have only 15 drivers starting, we will maybe not see more than 7 finishers tonight, because I know this track so well, and as I said, this track has always been chaotic. Meanwhile, we have a new pole setter. This is Grimo Goodman, 1:21.1, the provisional pole time. And just when I say it, there's always some Walsh. This time it was Thomas Walsh, being barely faster, half a tenth faster than our Grimo. And Grimo Goodman had a very good race last week. Very good race. In the end, it fell apart a little bit, but still quite some good showing from him last week. And he will try to build on it. I'm pretty sure about that. While we sit on board here with our chef, FX chef, the best cook in MIS, Gregory Mortier, I am having myself a look into our championship standings. The race winner, or the leader, is pretty clear. That's Jeppe Nielsen, the grey name by Monster XD9000, the first Red Bull driver. But with a quali ban, it is unlikely, I would like to say, that he will make it 3 out of 3. He won both the first races and therefore is leading with the amount of 52 points. He's leading over second man Thomas Walsh with 34, 18 points. The cushion, the gap between them. So with a good race result tonight, Thomas Walsh could make up a lot of valuable points, as it is likely, that Jeppe Nielsen will not make up that many points here tonight. But we will see, we will find out about that. Depends on the weather, of course, and the general chaos factor that I was talking about already a few times now. And we have seen a similar hot start in the last season, in season 2, from Swissman, what was his name? Kantarik, his sidekick Ricky Kuao, and himself was Kantan. That was it. Sorry for the delay. Kantan was his name. He had a very good start, and let's have a short look. Next one, F1 Cemetery. Next one to find the wall there was Diogo Felipe, who joined a little bit belated, and Next one to find the wall there. Just as I mentioned, just as I expected. Well, we see Nevis Ekic. Is he impeding there? No one, because the Alpine behind him, that must have been Blake Gary, turned back to the pits. Yeah, I wanted to speak about Khan Tan last year came into the league entirely new and had won a tremendously hot start. I think he finished. I think he won the first 3 races and was on the podium for the first 5 races or so. And but in the end, wow! Speaking about an end, this is the end. This is the end for Nevis Ekic. Nevis Ekic. By the way, a real-life buddy from Ricky Kuhau and Kantan, who I was speaking about. And there is another one. Leonard Cam, our single Scotsman. I cannot jump to him anymore because he is out. And guess where he is out? On the F1 cemetery. Yeah, so as we are in the second half of our quali, it's already half the grid that has DNF'd. Speaking about chaos and stuff. So third time I try to finish what I wanted to say because Kantan had a huge start of the second season, and in the end he finished just 3rd or 4th in our overall standings. So even though Jeppe Nielsen had a good start to his season, this is not an automatic championship run already. He needs to do a little bit more in the upcoming 20 races left. So there is no one on a hot lap here right now. Let's have a look at this man, Mirko Caruso, my friend, and by the way, real life friend of Kantan, Ricky Kuhau and Nevis Ekic. So one big German Swiss friends group that joined for season 2. Sadly, only 2 of those 4 really sympathetic guys are still in here, Caruso and Ekic. But maybe / hopefully we will find some of these drivers again in our future. Who knows what our future holds. And so for the moment, as he is the only one, a little bit of a wiggle there at the exit of turn 12. While there is tire still on the roads. Good old game bug. All eyes on him. The rest of the pack is waiting in the pits for their final shot, their final hot lap, and Caruso is doing this final shot already now. So when he is finished, he will probably not have enough time to come back to the pits and have another shot. So this result of this lap will probably already be it for him. Yeah, and he does have his share in history of this parking lot too, because in this tremendously hard season 1 race I was already mentioning, he could have won it. He could have won it if he didn't throw it away, just like Simo did. And guess where? Yep, on the parking lot. A spin there from Rockstar Caruso in turn 9. Not a big issue for him, but the lap is gone, of course. But that is not the biggest problem with 3 minutes 47 still remaining. It is enough time for him to return to his pits, mount a fresh set of tires, and then go out again. Is there anyone on a hot lap? Yeah, it is Mr. Blake Gary, our youngest driver. 15 or 16 years of age, our little hatchling, and he is almost level to his first time, 14,000 the improvement. Let's see if he can maybe build on it a bit. Sector 2. Problems there in turn 9 for him too. Just like we saw with Caruso. And he looks slow. Yes. He has given up on this lap time. Next one we have an eye on is Iggy Lai, who turned to the end of Sector 1 just when we jumped to him. And he was 12 thousandths ahead of his first time. Let's see if he can build on it a bit. He and Dillian Chapman just ahead will be potentially the biggest threats for the pole position coming out of the midfields. Iggy Lai improving by around half a second after Sector 2, so this could be a good lap for him. This could potentially be a Ferrari on the provisional pole here in just one turn. This long right-hander, DRS zone, and then 120.9, pushing the limits under the 21 mark. Barely ahead of and Dillian Chapman. Yes, Chapman too. Chapman was just behind. Lai and Chapman both improving the Walsh time, but Lai a little bit better. That gives the Ferrari the provisional pole, barely ahead of Dillian Chapman. And now the question, all eyes on Thomas Walsh and maybe Grimo Goodman. Maybe Grimo can have himself some stakes at the pole here too. Further we see, of course, Andrew Mount and Mikko Caruso on outlaps too, but they would have to improve by a lot if they want to be in the podium or in the pole discussion. Let's have a look where Grimo is. Grimo is first. Grimo will start his final hot lap right here, right now. So this is the first one we look at. All eyes on Mark Goodman in the French Alpine car. And we will jump between Grimo and Tom Walsh during this final hot lap, while we see Dillian Chapman pushing the limits a little bit further. He is 22 thousandths ahead of RP Lai, Iggy Lai, but one lap more on his starting soft tires. That could be a little bit a problem in the race then. Grimo not improving, 1/10 behind his first hot lap time. Let's have a look what Tom Walsh in the Aston Martin is doing here in Sector 1, here on the famously infamous parking lots. And the end of Sector 1 will bring him 1.5 tenths of improvement. Tom Walsh potentially on a podium, on a pole course, and Grimo Goodman, I think he has already given up. I think this will no improvement, no time finding there for Grimo Goodman, but he runs it till the end. And in the end, where will he be? No improvement. P4. He is finished. And what does Tom Walsh do? 2.5 tenths. The improvement after Sector 2. This would barely be enough for the pole position. Iggy Lai and Dillian Chapman will be looking at this Aston Martin. DRS activated for the last time. Pedal to the metal, and then pole position for Thomas Walsh. There he is, the Aston Martin race driver in P1, followed by Dillian Chapman in the front row. The second row, then Iggy Lai and Grimo Goodman. Great quali for him. P5, Mike Taylor. 6, Blake Gary. 7th, Jack Rocknan. 9th is Stuart McDonald. In P10, Andrew Mond. Mikko Caruso in 10th. Nevis Ikuc 11. 12th, Dominic Walsh. And no time set from FX Chef, Defag and Jeppe Nielsen. Yeah, Nebizekich already checked into our chat box. He said that he just had 2 less of training time in the last few weeks, and I can imagine um, in this new game compared to F1 2020, the cars have really a lot less downforce, definitely more difficult to drive than last year. And especially here in Australia, this can have a huge effect. We have half a minute left of time to consider a potential pit stop strategy, and I will be back with you in a moment. So let's have a look. There is still no Seymour Simpson. I'm not so sure what happened. I need to read it up. And first look is on the tire strategy. Most of the drivers are starting on softs. Top 10 have to, of course. 11 and onwards have free option of tires. Ikic, Walsh, Dom Walsh, and Jeppe Nielsen will start on mediums. The rest on softs. Yeah. Well, in a race where you can expect 2 or 3 safety car phases, I think it's you can stop on you can start on softs too. There will be many opportunities to have a pit stop. Yeah, and we will just have to wait and see how that will work out. Yeah, I mentioned it. I need to read it up. Why there is no Simo? Yeah, not so sure what happened there. He should be in. While our drivers find their starting box, I'm just checking the last messages in the background chat if I can have some quick information about that. Don't find it really quick, so let's just focus on our race here. Our 15 drivers all have found the starting box, the 5 red lights of Melbourne. And here we go, season 3, race number 3. Good start from Tom Walsh and from Iggy Lai, attacking Chappers here. Battled hard in the quali, and so they do on the start, and Lai is out! Wow, what a crash! And he took out 2 more drivers, at least damaged the cars. Nevis Ikic is out too. Nevis Ikic is out. Further, this starting incident. Damage to, is it Andrew Mont? And Caruso. Huge crash there at the exit of turn 2. He saw it, the intense battle between Lai and Chappers. Maybe some, a little bit of drama, a little bit of a rivalry this could cause for the rest of the season. We will have to wait and see if that might have some results on long term. For the moment, Thomas Walsh in the lead, of course. Then in second, his teammate Mike Taylor and Rodnan, the big winners of the start, at least in the front rows. Dillian Chapman is still running in fourth, lost 2 positions, but his car is okay. Next winner of the start is Gregory Mortier. He will have at least 1 more position he will gain due to the pit stop of Caruso. Grimo Goodman, bit of a loser, -3 on the start. And have a look who is there already in the points. Yeah, Penilson, who started in, I think, P15 or something. He is already up into 8th. And we see 5 pit stoppers. It's Choco Felipe. He was involved somehow. Yeah, needs a new nose. Caruso needed a new nose. Dominic Walsh in the pits. Andrew Mond needed a new nose. We saw that. And obviously, for some reason, Blake Gary was involved there too. I have no idea how that happened or what exactly happened that Gary was in the mix there too. Maybe it was a different situation. Maybe something else happened. Sadly, there is no replay option for me as your broadcaster. But I broadcast on YouTube because you can scroll back and forth in the timeline on the YouTube videos, different than the Twitch videos. So feel free to scroll back and forth and watch the turn 2 incidents on your own again. I will be back with you in a moment as we get closer to the restart of the race. So, the lights on Bernd Meilender's safety car should stop flashing every moment. Yeah, Andrew Mont, he has posted a sentence here in the chat box that the start was a joke. During a safety car phase, the drivers have the chance to just press the pause button and the AI will drive the car. That is actually not such a bad idea, because then you can get yourself a little bit of side information about the race, what has happened, or you can have a sip of your water bottle, hopefully only water, or you can just chat into the YouTube chat box like Andrew Mont just did. And we received word that safety car will be in this lap, and then our leading couple of the Aston Martins will restart the race. Thomas Walsh leading the way. He has picked up the pace, and here we are back to green condition. Finally racing action here from Melbourne. while we see Tom Walsh leading the way over his teammate Mike Taylor and then Jack Rognan in the Alpha Tauri. In fourth, Dillian Chapman, who was part of the reason why we had a safety car. Yellow already. Another yellow. Was this Rockstar? Yes, he was. He is digging himself out of the gravel pit there. And we have someone in the pits. This Blake Gary was in the pits again. Blake Gary in the pits again. Not such a good start of the race for Blake Gary, but it's not over. It's not over. I hope he will just stay with us because there is a strong tendency for more drama and action and more safety car phases. While we have seen Dominic Walsh muscling his way through over FX Chef, Gregory Mortier up into P8 for Walsh. So the Walsh is first and 8th. And Jeppe Nielsen is already 7th. Wow, and here's the late dive bomb. Late attack from Diogo Felipe against his teammate, overtaking Mortier because he is red X'd. He is AI driven at the moment. And dropping another position here. So there is maybe some troubles for our chef. So here's Andrew Mond in P10, racing on fresh hearts, trying to go long on this set. I am not sure if he can make it through the race on this set, but he can make it just as long as he wishes, and then whenever there is the next safety car phase, just pit in for another set, potentially then finish the race on mediums or anything. Because I strongly think that there will be another safety car phase, and here we see Grimo Goodman being relegated down to 8th. Tom Walsh muscled ahead by another position, and here is another battle group. This is Leonard Cam, Stuart McDonald, our single Scotsman, defending his 5th position against P6 Jeppe Nielsen already up in 5th. My goodness. And with this medium set, there might be a lot more in for his race strategy-wise. And he, sneaked past Leonard Cam, still without DRS. We will see DRS being not activated by until the end of this lap. And Walsh, right, the next attacker against Leonard Cam, and watch it through. Have a look. Leonard Cam lost 2 positions within just 2 turns. And, Leonard Cam, Stuart McDonald doesn't give up on it yet. He's trying to counter. He has, in theory, he has the tire advantage, racing on on softs against Walsh on mediums. But it doesn't look like as if would pay out for him. And behind, have a look, right, the next potential attackers incoming from behind. P8 Grimo Goodman and P9 Diogo Felipe. DRS now activates it. Leonard Cam is DRS equipped, and this is good for him. This is potentially his only weapon of defense here to stay in the position. But now with 1.2 seconds he is out of the DRS window, and that means on the long main straight right here, both Grimo Goodman and Diogo Felipe will be DRS equipped, and Leonard Cam does not. You can see the Haas is not split, and Felipe overtakes Goodman. Right, the next DRS zone in here. Diogo Felipe 4.5 tenths away, maybe a little bit too far away from Leonard Cam. Yes, no chance for an attack for the moment. And this is Mike Taylor is out. Mike Taylor has crashed out, and we have the next safety car. And Jeppe Nielsen too. My goodness, have a look. A huge wreckage. Jeppe Nielsen right and Taylor left, so there must have been some coming together there, my goodness. And they were not together, they were not close. They were not close. And Gregory Mortier is out too. Yeah, is this really possible? Let's see if Blake Gary can depict it to us again. No, he cannot. He cannot, because the wreckage is too far away. Oi, oi, oi. What is this? Didn't I say it? Didn't I say it? Huge chaos, as always, in Melbourne. And this means that already by now, after just 7 laps, everyone who finishes will be given a point. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But yeah, let's sort things out a bit. We have seen Mike Taylor, he was the first to DNF. Taylor somehow ran into the barrier somewhere. And Jeppe Nielsen wasn't behind him. Jeppe Nielsen wasn't directly behind him. So to me, that tells that Taylor ran into the barrier, came back onto the track, and Jeppe Nielsen didn't have a chance to defend himself and just crashed into the Taylor wreckage. So that was the reason why Nielsen was out. And then all of a sudden there was another man in, and that was Gregory Mortier, who didn't find a way through the carnage there. And all of a sudden we have only 10 drivers left out of a 15-man grid after just 7 laps. So this is our leading duel. Leading duel meaning Bernd Mailander in the red safety car in position 0, and in position 1 still Thomas Walsh. And interesting thing, we have seen a few pit stops. Everyone on P5 and behind pitted. So the top 4 did still not stop for Dominic Walsh and Rockstar Caruso on the mediums. That is okay. But why the top duo, Thomas Walsh and Jack Rockner, didn't pit? I am not so sure. I'm not so sure why they didn't use this chance. Yeah, anyway, we will have one more lap of safety car and I'm back with you in a moment. So the safety car is ruled to be back in this lap, And then we see yet another restart led by Tom Walsh with Jagger Ognian right behind. Oh, have a look, they are really close. The top drivers are really close, and now Tom Walsh has picked up the pace a little bit late, I think. And there is Caruso out! Caruso out! Oh no! On accelerating, there you see the wrecked Alfa Romeo in the background. On the exit, and Rockman too! And Rockman too! My goodness! What in all hell is going on here? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Carnage redefined here in Melbourne. Now we are in lap 10, and I said we will have only 7 finishers. We are down to 8 drivers only, so maybe I have to refigure what I said, and it was definitely not so wrong what I expected from this race. So yeah, I'm still awaiting my prediction trophy, because don't mean to be arrogant, but yeah, it looks like my predictions, sadly, very often are true. And yeah, so whoever finishes will be given points here tonight, and not just one, because as things look like now, it is at least 4 points that you earn. So easy as 4 points. You can get yourself onto your account the whole season, I think. And this is the leader again, Thomas Walsh. All the chaos behind. I am not so sure if he is aware what's going on. I always recommend our drivers to listen to me, to have me on their ear, to just dial in our YouTube broadcast, because I try to deliver as much of information and neutral information as much as I can. So this is a midfield battle group here, P8, 7, 6, 5, and maybe 4. Mark Goodman ahead. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Thomas Walsh is aware of all this carnage that is going on. I know that he has always a chat party, a chat room with his brother opened up, but Tom Walsh is in P3, so they are rather close, and not so sure if Tom Walsh can get him some information about what is going on, because he is in a similar spot. Blake Gary has spun, but still running. Spun on the F1 cemetery, exit of turn 12. But today we have multiple cemeteries. We have one here on the main straight, we have one on the second straight after turn 2, and of course the main cemetery after turn 12. So this lap remaining, then we will see DRS being activated again. Ooh, there was a tag, and front wing damage to Diogo Felipe Williams. And have a look, he is immediately losing front downforce and lost a position to Andrew Mount. So let's focus on this duel here. Actually, there's only duels, not so much groups left anymore. This is a duel for P4, Grimo versus Leonard Cam. Yeah, and as it is obvious that... Ooh, Grimo is out! Grimo is out, we saw it live! And safety car. F1 cemetery. The cemetery has struck again. So, down to 7. At least 6 points you get onto your accounts. And now we are at 7. Now we are at 7 drivers left. Just what I suggested. Pit stops. Tom Walsh and Felipe. Gary, yes, pits too. Runs over the little stick on the entry. And let's see if someone selects to race on hards, because I think you could finish the race on hards from this spot onwards. Gary, mediums, and the nose. This is a scrumped set of mediums, so 2 laps already on this set. But still, like Gary prefers to go on the yellow rubber. And now, from a double Aston Martin lead, we are now in a 1-2 for Mercedes. Dylan Chapman leading from his teammate Dominic Walsh. So it's 3 Mercedes leading the way. Bernd Meiner in the red one, and then the 2 F1 Mercedes, Cheppers and Dom Walsh. So I expect the safety car to be ruled in this lap, as the field, the very, very tiny field, is close and packed up. We are, by the way, yep, there is the message, safety car in this lap. We are around about at the midway mark of the race. And if this DNF festival continues as it is, let's see if we have more than podium to finish. I sincerely hope this will not be a serious prediction from me now. But there is a Haas, Stuart McDonald, a Haas battling for a podium. You only see that in virtual worlds. So the next restart, safety car phase number 3 is at its end. Dylan Chapman either had a problem or this was just not a good restart, because Leonard Cam has already passed his teammate and Leonard Cam is in the lead. Leonard Cam in the lead. Poor restart from Chapman, and Dom Walsh had another problem there. Dominic Walsh being ranked down from 2nd to 6. Yellow, 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 yellow. What happened there? A wild phase here. What a wild race this is. We see Thomas Walsh, the former leader, is down to 7th. What happened there? He had a pit stop, okay, but there must have been something going on. because he's very far away there from Blake Gary. And then there was another problem, another strange situation there for Tom Walsh, his brother, who is racing on the oldest set of tire, 13 laps on his mediums. So he, I think, will try to nurse them long enough to finish the race then on a set of softs. And with all that chaos, I think it could work out for him to have another safety car phase sometime later. And he is just barely ahead of Diogo Felipe here in the Williams. One more lap, this lap, and then we see the DRS being activated again. But we had less DRS overtakes than DNFs in this race. Strange combination. So this is the battle group in the background, I would like to say. Felipe, and ahead Dominic Walsh and Andrew Mond on a potential podium here. And behind Felipe is Blake Gary. And then Thomas Walsh. I wanted to say a few laps ago, but was interrupted by some of the chaos then, that Thomas Walsh would make up a lot of points and potentially overtake the lead of our overall standings in the end. He must make up 18 points. He was leading the race, and it looked like it was very comfortable, his lead. So if he just won the race, he would have been the new leader over Jeppe Nielsen, as Nielsen already DNF'd earlier. But now, have a look. Walsh is up into 6, already ahead of Blake Gary. Thomas Walsh must finish in 2nd to be level on points then with our leader. And Sheppers is into the pits, still Leon Chapman, who had this poor restart. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or if there was any kind of game malfunction or engine issue for him. I'm not so sure. Just very sad that he was ranked down so far behind. And what was going on there? This is Dominic Walsh trying the Mercedes lawnmower from Valtteri Bottas, and he is ranked down into 5th, and that gifts P4 to his brother. So it's incredible how quick you get from last into 4th, and that makes Andrew Mon 2nd and Diogo Felipe 3rd. And all of a sudden, Leonard Cam. Let's not forget about Stuart McDonald. Didn't he have a spin already too? Didn't he almost DNF already too, a little bit earlier? And now he's leading the race and potentially win it. I heard of one victory he had in the Slydog Racing League that was going on Mondays in the old game. Not sure if they still exist. So I heard that he is a former race winner, but I think he has never won an MRS race. But there's always a first time. There is always a first time. Oh my goodness, attack from Diogo Felipe, and that was not a good idea. Not a good idea from the Brazilian. And he is down to P6. No damage. Potentially no damage to his car, not sure, not entirely sure. Andrew Mond was tagged from behind, but not being affected any further, still running in 2nd. Pit stop, Dominic Walsh. There is the final pit stop. The single and final pit stop, I think, for him. And just as expected, he will try to finish the race on the red soft compound. Yeah, I sincerely hope there will not be any further DNFs. Down to 7 is already harsh enough. Yeah, our admins. Dominic Walsh, Peter Simpson, Jan van der Brugge, maybe David Lawson, who is sitting on Lanzarote on his summer holiday. In case you listen to me, in case you rewatch this race later or tomorrow, yeah, I would like to have some, I don't know, prediction trophy or anything. If we are still really only 7 drivers finishing this race. Yeah, let's see. Let's just hope there will not be any further carnage. No further havoc somewhere on the asphalt. And Tom Walsh is up in 3rd already, while the fuck Felipe and Gary tangling here for P4. Let's watch them from the camera view of Diogo Felipe, as there aren't so many drivers battling. At least not now. This is the only duel, and Andrew Mont, who are in the DRS window of the driver ahead. Andrew Mont and Leonard Cam, by the way, our leading duel. We will have a look at them too. And the interesting thing is, first, Leonard Cam is still carrying a penalty with him, and second, both drivers are on 12 laps old mediums. We have still 9.5 laps remaining, so this means they would need to nurse these mediums to over 20 laps. And I am really not sure if the medium is meant to be raced so long. And there is the pit stop. Just when I said it, there is the pit stop from Stuart McDonald. And that could mean 5 seconds penalty. Yes, first the penalty to be served. And then red tires, softs for him for the remainder of the race. And I would like to expect that Andrew Mont will have to stop then too. And then Thomas Walsh is in the lead again. From first to last to first. So let's see if Andrew Mont will turn to the pits right here, right 1 lap later. Try to limit the undercuts of Stuart McDonald to only 1 lap. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I see dark clouds over the head of Andrew Mont. I suppose that he will try to make this set of tires last until the end of the race, and I am not sure if this is a good race, a good idea to do so. We will have to wait and see. Time will tell. For the moment he is leading. For the moment there is no one in the DRS window of nearby driver. That means, yeah, a few laps of race rhythm, a few race of smooth sailing. And Andrew Mond didn't stop again, so this tells me that he really intends to go through. So he's acting like all or nothing here. He risks winning or losing, nothing in between. If it doesn't work out, okay, he will still finish at least 7th. He will still have at least 6 points in his hands. So the idea isn't too bad to do it, to risk it in a race like this is today. And right now, he is even increasing the gap on Thomas Walsh. And Diogo Felipe is closing up. Maybe there is some problem on the Aston Martin of Tom Walsh. We know that this game features a lot more of potential car malfunctions, and maybe there is some problem on the Walsh's gearbox or the turbocharger or anything. And behind we see the position swap between Dominic Walsh and Dylan Chapman. They're both the Mercedes. Dominic Walsh with the softs pushing ahead over Chapman on the mediums. And here was the overtake from Diogo Felipe racing up into 2nd, and Thomas Walsh really doesn't look like as if he would be on top of his game. So no, he is not AI driven, he is with us, he is not inactive. Yeah, not so sure, not sure what it exactly is that is troubling Tom Walsh, but he is not looking like as if he could push for the lead, and that is a sigh of relief for Andrew Mond, because he now has 5.5 seconds of gap. Diogo Felipe is closing up a little bit maybe, but is with 5.5 laps and over 5 seconds of gap, this could be just a little bit of cushion that Andrew Mond needs to bringing home his, I think, first ever MRS victory. Potentially, still 5.5 laps to go. Exactly 5 laps now, and exactly 5 seconds of gap, while Tom Walsh has dropped back by 2 seconds now, so there definitely is some sort of problem on the Aston Martin of Tom Walsh. And if he finishes 3rd, that would mean he will make up 15 points on Jeppe Nielsen, and that would mean that, come whatever may, Nielsen is and will stay our overall leader after this race. So here's the car of Tom Walsh, who looks like he is in trouble, in some technical issue there. Still losing more and more time. And Tom Walsh, have a look, he's now 4 seconds away from Diogo Felipe, and his brother has been closing up heavily, and it's just a matter of question of turns, question of seconds when the younger Walsh will overtake the older one, plus tire advantage for Dominic Walsh. And then Tom Walsh would at least make up 12 points on Jeppe Nielsen. So still in favor of Tom Walsh, still something going in his way. But he could have won this race. He had chances to win it. For some reason did not work out here in the end. And I expect that those two Walshes will swap positions on the next main straight, and then Dominic Walsh will step on the podium. At least it looks like it. And there we go. Thomas Walsh tries to defend, but eventually no chance. And now he is already in the grasp of the other Mercedes. This is Dylan Chapman, and I think, or am afraid, for Tom Walsh, that it's just a matter of turns until he is being overtaken by the other Mercedes. Blake Gary into the pits again, probably having himself a fresh set of softs and then trying to race for a fastest lap. Extra point possible for Gary there. Yeah, he just can't overtake the rebuild section that is not rebuilt in the game, sadly. And the ice zone, Thomas Walsh defending, no chance for an overtake yet, but I think in the next double DRS phase that should work. So we see this right-hander and then a DRS zone, a chicane and another DRS zone. And as we know that Tom Walsh somehow has troubles defending himself, somehow is lacking some sort of engine power, this should not be a problem for Dylan Chapman. Not on this spot, maybe now. Chapman had a little bit of an acceleration trouble. He slipped a little bit on the exit of turn 2. And therefore no chance for an overtake. So Tom Walsh is really giving it all he got here to defend his at least 4th position. And here, right in these spots, right in these phases where you just cannot overturn, Dylan Chapman is really close. Oh, have a look, wheel to wheel on the exit of turn 10. Dangerous. And here we are getting closer to the cemetery again. Left and right. DRS zone, a short one only. Walsh inside. What Dylan Chapman outside lane. Wheel to wheel. Ooh. Hard defending but fair racing, I would like to say. Have a look how much faster Chappers is, and now he's got a chance. Inside lane for him as he pushed through already in the penultimate turn. And now he got him. DRS on this straight, DRS on the next straight in favor of Chapman too. And then he pushed through in a very good maneuver. Just caught Tom Walsh off guard there, surprised him a bit. And now, all eyes on the McLaren. Usually, we would like to say, or we would say Leonard Cam is out. Leonard Cam DNF'd in the last lap, so he will be in the final result. He will be in the race final result in the end, but he does not see the checkered flag. So Andrew Mond in the McLaren, normally we would say all eyes on McLaren in case of Peter Simpson racing for the lead, racing for victories. But today, for some reason, Simpson wasn't there and Andrew Mond just did it. Andrew Mond nursed home his tires for 2/3 of the race. The first ever victory in MRS history for Andrew Mond. Wow, congratulations, congratulations. Next man up for McLaren. And after over 2 seasons of being a solid midfielder, Andrew Mond gets a contract from McLaren, gets to be the backup for Peter Simpson. And have a look what he did, winning in Melbourne, Australia. Congratulations, my friend Andrew Mond. And just as good, there is congratulations to a good podium for you in your third or maybe fourth MIS race. I think he reserved in the last year already once. And in P3 then the final podium setter is Dominic Walsh. A lot of ups and downs for both the Walshes. Driver of the day in the end, Diogo Felipe. Whew. And here we are on our podium. Inaugural victory, Andrew Mond. So this is our final result after penalties. Andrew Mond has won the race for the first time in MIS history, just 7/10 ahead of Diogo Felipe in the end, although he had 5.5 seconds of gap, just 5 laps before the end. And then in P3, Dominic Walsh. 4th is being Dillian Chapman, 5th Thomas Walsh, 6th Blake Gary, 7th still in the final classification Leonard Cam, and the rest did not finish. Grimo, Rognan, Caruso, Mortier, Jeppe Nielsen, Taylor, Igilai, and Nevisekic. Yeah, this was just the chaos I expected. Sadly, I expected. Next week's Wednesday, I sadly will not be there. I know that already pretty much for sure. We will then turn to Spielberg, Austria, what is actually more or less my home race, so that sadly I will not be able to broadcast. In 2 weeks, September 22nd, I will be back. I will be back with you and bring you home the race in Montreal, Canada then. 7:30 p.m. UK time, 8:30 p.m. Continental. Stream always goes online around 5 minutes earlier. I hope you liked it, even though it was heavy carnage here tonight. And yeah, so I would like to have you with us the next time in 2 weeks then. Until then, have a nice evening, have a good time, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.